Hey everyone, I'm trying something different out here today, doing my new Ag Uncensored thing for maybe a little daily video. I don't know if I'll get to that point, but every morning I bring my kids in. I got a 4.5-year-old and a 2.5-year-old, and I got these two things. There's Dauber, there's Buddy, and they come with me and we go on this road right in front of you, and they walk anywhere from 1 mile to 2 miles. I'm in the middle of the country, as you can see, not a lot going on here. I'm also down the road from a place called the Grand Farm, which is kind of an innovation hub for AgTech equipment. There's a big, huge ethanol plant behind me, the biggest in the state, and a huge soybean crushing plant going soon. I live 30 miles outside of Fargo, North Dakota, which is a lot of ag going on. Anyways, this is my daily crop tour, or country cruise, as many in ag call it. And I thought it'd be an interesting idea to spread my knowledge or some stupid quip of the day about ag or ag tech, while these things are having the time of their lives walking out there. Because if they don't, they yell at me insistently. So I'm gonna do that, but I'm gonna get them out of the pickup here soon, and we're gonna have a little talk today. So, ready, buddy Dauber? Basically one word. So, mind you, yes, I'm gonna drive, but I'm going like 3 miles an hour, so maybe I'll get a mount for this thing too. There's two of my little munchkins there. Anyways, so I plan on, I don't know if I'll do daily or not. We'll see how this all works, but something shorter than my new Ag Uncensored podcast that I'm starting to put out. And check it out if you haven't. Subscribe, all that fun stuff. You can find it on all the major social media channels. But maybe I'll just talk about a general post that I did before, or who knows, something I read in the news in the morning. One thing I talked about yesterday was kind of the huge news in social media. John Deere comes out with big RX 830. Thing weighs 84,000 pounds, can pull, the earth apart, whatever. And, new combines and bigger tanks and new things, all this fun stuff. And, I mean, John Deere makes beautiful, sexy equipment. I mean, they have teams of people that rival probably GM, Ford, and whatnot on design. They do great things on that. Of course, at the same time, it's bigger and bigger, and yet in the ag tech space, there's this want to get smaller and smaller, do swarm robotics this, automation that. And I've talked about it before, and other people do. It's like, yeah, there's only so much bigger you can get, and yes, but I don't know, if you farm around up here or north of here in Western Canada, and then other parts of the world, you need some big equipment to get some things done. And there's not, there's a labor problem too. There's an efficiency issue, and as some have said, and I've said too before, I mean, it's a cultural issue. People want bigger and better, they want more towing capacity, bigger horsepower, all these things. And I mean, I thought that would go away a while back, just in the automobile industry, and it doesn't. Just turned into electric vehicles with more power and more speed. And what I wonder, and I'm not going to dive into whether necessarily robotics is good or bad. I mean, it'll fit where it needs to fit. I think it's got some time to mature, but honestly, if it goes anywhere, John Deere still and other manufacturers are gonna build their big OEM equipment for that certain niche, and they'll repurpose their smaller tractors. I got a 1025R. It's 25 horsepower, small diesel subcompact tractor. They cost, with attachments, I don't know, called 25 grand. Well, you put enough sensors in that, double the cost, and you can make 10 of them. Yeah, they could go up and down the field and plant one row at a time. Easy. Do a little 5-foot tillage. That's probably where groups like John Deere and other OEMs will go. They'll use what they already have. They're not going to reinvent the wheel. Now, the robotics companies that are out there now doing all these things, some might get their machines that they've built out and about, but I think a lot of it, they'll just be kind of gobbled up slowly by whatever tech they created or whatever niche they kind of created, and the OEMs will come in with their equipment and their manufacturing processes and kind of take that on. slowly. They're doing it now slowly, and whether it's actually helping them or not, I don't know. Probably more their stock price than anything. But in all this, it made me thought, okay, say all the machinery gets smaller at time. We're getting to the max capacity of size on machines anyways. Just logically, there is logical standards here of size, unless we get into like the mining industry and there are no roads and the equipment just stays in 10,000 acre fields all the time. I guess could get like that, and that's a whole nother talk. But if we get to smaller, robotic things, is the same thing going to happen? Oh, my robot is just 5% bigger and 5% more efficient and can do 5% more work than other OEM's robot. Like, are we going to get into the same thing? Because that seemingly probably will happen, because there's OEMs are still using millions of dollars in marketing to tout, oh, we have a tighter turning radius, we have a little bit bigger axles, we have a little bit bigger engine, a little bit bigger cab, whatnot. It's all that all still continues, and I could see that in the robotic space. Just like, well, ours fits in the same area, but it does just 10% more robot work, and that's what it is. So while some want to get smaller, I don't know, people like big things. That is agriculture for you. The bigger is better in the mindset of most. Not saying there's not a spot for smaller. I tend to like the idea of a little bit smaller equipment, not like tiny, but the 200 horsepower range things, or 150 horsepower range, pulling things of the size that it can handle. I see it getting to that, but then that'll slowly incrementally get bigger too, and then every time this happens, the OEMs, like you see all over the news right now in the moment because of Commodity Classic, oh, we've created this big thing and this new thing, and then we all get enamored over it, but 0.5% or 1% even buy these things the first 2 years, and they're large farms, and they turn it over the next year, and then those values of what they bought for $1 million drop to $600,000 because they're first year models or second year models and still figuring out the bugs and all that. So it's another side of issue for smaller equipment robotics, is the resale used market. But anyways, that's my just general thought country cruise for the day while my dogs are having the time of their life outside on a brisk 17-degree morning. So maybe I'll do these more often. I do this every morning with my dogs anyways on this same road, traffic permitting, and sometimes that is agricultural equipment getting in the way, but that's fine, and can have a little crop progressive report over the year too and whatnot. So there it is. We'll maybe see you tomorrow.